So I'll get right to business here. I wanted to show you exactly what was going on. I wanted to show it to you last weekend, which would have been 4 weeks ago. I'm just about at 5 weeks here because it's Friday now, and I'll show you the different effects. And I showed you these hoof knives that I made. I didn't show you me using them. These are kind of extreme hoof knives. Because of the fact of how hard these are, I don't want to grab it with the nippers. The other thing I want to tell you about this, it's almost like a scab on your skin when you have a cut. So one thing I don't want to do, and you've seen me grab it with my nippers and peel it off, but I'll grab it back here and I'll peel it back to here, but I don't want to peel it all the way off here, because this is, if it was a scab, this is your thickest part. And if you peel it back this way, it may tear off more here than what you want. That's why you've always seen me tear back to here and then pry it this way, because the bar wants to break off over here, but like I said, if you try to tear it this way, it may tear more hoof sole material off and bar material than where it really wants to break off. So you're better off to when you get to this point, peel that bar back this way, because this, you're not going to damage anything here, and as it comes up here, it will rip along the bar. So this I'm always showing you his worst hoof, because why show you the best one? That just make me look good. I'm showing you the reality of it all, and most of what, see, hear how hard this is. Listen. See, so I don't worry about cutting this front part, because that all wants to come off. But this may explain to you a lot about these wild horses out here, because he did exhibit a little bit of laminitis. You could see it when I ground, if you look in the last video, when I ground the front portion of the hoof, you could see where he was bulged. And some people might have thought that I was too extreme where I cut him back to here, but I wasn't, because of the bulging. So, see, some of these wild horses may experience this bit of laminitis because we had a very wet spring and everything was really green. So, but everything on this property is really basically the same as what those wild horses have access to. So I can grab this with my nippers. It'll just make life a lot easier. But hear how hard that is? But you could almost trash your nippers on this interior edge because it is so hard. So you might as well grab a rock with it. Hear it snap off? But notice that I pulled it up the bar, not towards the center. See, I grab a hold of it and I twist it this way. So you can see, what I'm talking about right here. This little bit of black. That's where the bar really wants to break off. This little bit here I will grind off. But even with that frog the way it is, see, I can use these more extreme hoof knives to help trim the inside of that frog, because there's no way I would cut that with a regular hoof knife. See? So it cleans it up pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you see how I'm cutting it with this. And I told you I have a right and a left. So I can just chip off a little bit of this stuff. And even this wants to come off, see? So you can see by the chalkiness right in here. Now I can take the grinder and clean up this and this. And that, and that's what I wanted to show you about that. See, I had a video on YouTube that I took down about trimming in the desert, where I was actually using a hammer and a chisel to get that false sole off. And this being the first time that I've ever ground any horse's hoof, I immediately could see the changes where that false sole just will start to come off by itself without any moisture. So grinding it, because that's abrasion versus cutting it is cutting. There's no abrasive in cutting. So it certainly works out a lot better for horses like him. I mean, my mare shows a little bit of false sole, and he's always had it, but this hoof is the only one that really showed some signs of laminitis, and that's basically because we had so much dang rain. Everything was way greener around here, but the vegetation here, there's nothing that I planted here. This is just, I've got 8 acres for them to roam around on, and they're just eating whatever grows out here naturally. So basically they have access to the same kind of feed that the wild horses do out here. The only thing is they don't have access to that greenery as long. So that may answer some questions as about wild horses maybe getting laminitis, because all the wild horses are out here in the desert type of terrain, other than when you get up to British Columbia, Canada and stuff. I don't know. It'd be interesting to get out into some of these wilds and see. But see, only having access to that severe green because of the moisture, he experienced a little bit of laminitis, but only in his left hoof, left front. The other one, I could show you the other one. It's way better shape, but he was not sore-footed whatsoever. Even though you saw how much I cut him back, and I'm going to show you again where I cut him back to again, because he still has a little bit of that bulge in the front of his hoof that he needs to grow out. But he's not sore from any of that. So we'll go down to finish the rest of that. So I'll mark this for you again, and you'll see, not quite 5 weeks. I told you 5.5 inches. So you see how much he's at, right at 6 now. And that's just this bulging growing down. So again, I'm going to grind them off to here. Dish out some of the sides. Grind this sole back. See all the black and the black in here. And look at this frog. See the black here? This is what I mean about people saying, well, don't cut the frog, but this actually will slough just like the sole. That black is where that wants to peel off. So we'll get busy at that. There you have it. Pretty simple. I'll grind the front part of the toe. So you see, as you do this and the bulge starts to deteriorate, I just went just barely behind the white line now. Whereas I believe if you look in the last video, you'll see I'm probably almost 1/4 of an inch behind the white line. So because the white line, that's his lamina, and when it's bulged out like this, and when you start to bring it back, because it's growing down like this, and when you get to the bulge, it starts to push that lamina out, and that lamina is your white line. So I'll grind that front edge for you. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the bulge starts right about here. Last time it was up about here. See the change in the growth here? But the breakover is at the exact same point. That's it. I mean, I'll clean this up with the rasp because normally I would get on the other side, on the inside, towards his chest to grind this hoof. And being at this angle, it just is a little bit harder for me to work at. But, so, see, where I'm ground back, the bulge is right there. I don't have to grind all that bulge off. So, you can see some of the improvements I've made around here. I showed you this area before that the fence used to be right here. Indy, you're kind of, go here. Yeah. So, fence line used to be here. Now I moved it out 27 feet, so I got all kinds of room to turn around, drive up in here with the van and unload hay with the tractor. It just makes life that much better. So this is what I do in my spare time. Work. Oh, buddy.